Countdown begins, and the gates are going to be opening wide. And it's going to be Hammers not utilizing Snizzle on the Roadhog, so to speak. Going to be running that Zen and Zarya, as well as the D.Va. So a lot of damage mitigation. Neptuno already in the back lines, trying to get that early damage onto Shaz. And look at that, the combined aggression of Movistar Riders' composition. Jump into it, translocates back, heals himself up. And this EMP should be coming up within the next fight.
Not a huge amount of health kits to be able to work off here, but there is a large mega over to the right-hand side as well, and there's one back here, but that would be more to deny health rather than anything else. Get a good amount of hacks out and a bit of damage. That early pick onto Shaz.
Right?
Yeah. Early pick onto Shaz has forced him to switch over to Anna as well, it seems.
Yeah, because I mean, once the Sombra gets snowballing with the ult, playing Zen is, yeah, you have no chances as Zen anymore.
Okay, still moving into the back line, searching for what damage he can get done. Neptuno is already on 85% with the EMP. It's looking very promising so far for the Movistar Riders defense. Christopher now just trying to rotate around with the rest of his team, buy them some time, and Logic, I should say, is going to be the first one to fall. Dragon Blade built up for Swoosh, however, so Ultima's on the board. EMP gets sent out. Here comes the Dragon Blade. Swoosh wants to make some magic happen. Going to be swinging his little sushi sword, but Tomzy gives him the little boop, and Christopher whacks him with his massive hammer. Puts an end to that. Mischief and banter, and already one tick on the board for Hammers.
Really nice mitigation there, I think, of the ultimate coming out from Swoosh. They focused it down perfectly. Tomzy with a little boop completely denied his positioning, and they get nothing out of those two really powerful ultimates that they invested in their Movistar Riders. And this defense, although it could have been promising, a snowball could have developed, has just been cracked wide open on basically the first push.
Was that just a poor EMP attempt there by Neptuno? Was it poor positioning, not managing to catch, I guess, Tomzy into the EMP? What was going on there then, Multi?
I don't think the coordination was good enough, because normally a Sombra ult and a Blade has to give you a team wipe if you play it correctly.
Okay, well.
And I think Hammer should still swap off their comp, because they're still running a Zarya and a D.Va, and those both get hard counted actually by Sombra, so.
They're incredibly close to their ultimates as well, though. Fisher on 96% of this Graviton. I think they want to get some use out of it first. Colstead there, put to sleep only on 100. He's getting focused down as quickly as he's being healed up by the Anna. Huge amount of ultimates online here for Hammers, Esports, and Neptuno at 99% as well, though. And with the EMP going off, those ults mean absolutely nothing if he times it correctly.
6 ults for Hammers right now. There's a statistic out there that actually teams with 6 ultimates, in most cases, lose the fight against teams with less ultimates. I don't know why that is. Maybe they just get overconfident.
Yeah,
overconfident. Right, but here comes the EMP moving in. Movistar Riders want to be using it aggressively. It's going to be the nano boost attack visor onto Nesh, seeing what damage he can put in. Colstead is going to be falling. Swoosh up there as well. And they're looking for even more. Movistar Riders have to back off here, try and regroup as 6, and then get the recontestation into the final moments of this second stage of Hollywood.
They're really committing to Neptuno and Sombra as well. They're really pushing that hard. I thought we would have seen a switch off by now within some time in the second stage. This part of Hollywood is the best for dive if you can establish verticality. Here comes a Graviton as well from Fisher. Only catched a single one. Oh, the soldier towards the end as well.
Nice.
As he's popped down onto the floor. Finzi taken out. And this is going to be difficult for Movistar Riders to defend this whatsoever. Really great use of the ultimates towards the end there from Hammers.
Swoosh's Dragon Blade not really getting the work he was looking for. Does collect the kill onto Shaz, but now he's going to be pressured down, 35 health. Just trying to run and dodge and juke. Still the point being contested to a decent degree, I believe.
Neptuno has ult again.
Logics and ult again for Neptuno. He's on 75%, going to be popping this off immediately to try and give his team the edge. Kill's going to be rolling in for them. Colsey just happy to run them down with the Tesla cannon. They will be able to find the rest of the kills, so just follow up. And good defense there by Movistar Riders.
Yeah, it looked like a fight for Hammers actually for a long time, but
as soon as Neptuno got his EMP up, they were able to re-engage. You know, that takes half of the health away from Fisher, who was on the Zarya. They've made some changes now, though. This is interesting to me. I haven't seen this comp in quite a long time. The triple tank, but they don't have a Zarya or a D.Va there.
Yes. I mean, I feel like you need mobility in a certain form. So, I mean, tank compositions is what Hammers are used to, but you need to contest the high ground, and that's what the Winston, which Fisher's going to be playing, is going to be relying on. Logic goes for a post point, actually connects it, collects the kill onto Tomzy as well as a result. Tries to take the 1v1 with Nesh there in the tail end of the fight. Doesn't quite work out for him, but he's definitely set this up beautifully for his team.
And they're starting to roll this one forward as well. Hammers had a really good opportunity just to take the entire thing in one go, and they lose one fight to Neptuno getting an EMP and it not slightly going their way, and now a huge amount of time being taken off the board. That fight there was absolutely pivotal, because now the ult situation, they can pressure forwards with their defense. Hammers are a little bit stuck, and they've made the switches to their composition, which denied them ultimate charge. It's going to be a while before Hammers can set up something nice.
Is the, okay, well, we're going to see the Nano Boost Winston popping off. xepheR wants to try and collect a kill or two. It's going to be Fincy going down. Dragon Blade by Swoosh as well into the backlines. Let's find a kill for his team, trading equally so far, so good. Hacks from Neptuno up above, trying to bring down Tomsy, but he's dodging and juking. The bubble will protect him, but EMP is going to completely negate that, and he does eventually find the kill for his team. Meanwhile, a little bit of a Tracer v Tracer battle, a 1v1 being happening onto the point. Nesh in a bit of trouble. Logix finds the kill. Straight across the smooth little dusty alleyways of Hollywood second. I wanted to say quickly as well, Morte, so is xepheR onto the Winston as opposed to the D.Va, mainly just because of Neptuno on the Zomba? Is that the thought process behind it?
So I think the thought process behind is that they still wanted on half dive to reach the backline with the Tracer, and I don't really know if I like this composition. Like Logix is gonna have a pulse bomb up every fight because there's 3 tanks without a D.Va.
Okay.
And I actually think the Neptuno EMP...
He's going for it, he wants it. Eventually, he gives in, doesn't go for the pulse bomb. He didn't want the Escalol in chat, but here comes the Nano Visor popping off. Nesh might be in a bit of trouble. The kill's rolling in for Hammers, however. Immediately picking up 3, they're looking for even more. Fincy forced to back off round the corner. xepheR's going to be chasing him down, and it should be the cap for Hammers.
So Tomsy just got his Lucio ult off, and Sombra Neptuno used his Sombra ult to kill Tomsy on the fight before, if you remember that. So I actually thought it was a bit weird because he could see the Lucio ult was up, so in theory he could just have saved his Sombra ult for the next fight, so to completely negate the Lucio ult. And I kind of thought that was what he was gonna do, but he decided to use it anyway.
1.5 minutes to crack this final area. A little bit tough, but Movistar Riders are on the back foot at the moment. They'll be given a little bit of time. Neptuno actually making the move over to Zen as well, and a Zen defense, not opting for the Lucio at all this map so far.
Interesting indeed.
It's pretty common in EU for teams to run EU and Zen on the last point here.
Big sight line, lots of damage potential. Yes. Shred the shield as they come in as well. No real
need to...
Hammers is about to have that tech visor up. It's just gonna be...
Man, they're just melting Christopher. His shield's going immediately down. The Discord Orb has placed them as well. The damage being popped into him. Caustic is going to get hooked by Snizzle Nose, so the defense is there, but the Nanoboost is going to be popped onto Nesh. Really seeing, looking for these targets, but a bit of a whiff of ultimates there. That's 2 ultimates gone down the drain. They're not really finding any kills. Helix Rockets will collect Neptuno, but here it comes. Going to be the hammer down. And finding the kills in the end. Hammers in the final 32 seconds. It's just Colsey trying to defend this now. He's got a Primal Rage. He needs to store this out for as long as he possibly can. Still got a Primal Rage to pop off. Bubble gets launched off. Going to be trying to knock them around. Buy some time for Movistars to make their way back in. Pulse Bomb's going to be used as well into the background. Hammer's still holding onto the point for now, contesting it to the bitter end. Sleep Dart not going to be connecting onto Swoosh, but he's on the main now. Brilliant hero there for stalling out this point into the final moments. Snizzle's still alive, collects the hook there. Doesn't actually get the kill though because of the defense matrix, I believe. Bit of a whiff, but still Hammers finally finding these kills. Nesh is absolutely popping off into the background, and he is collecting all of these frags in the overtime. I believe this should be still going to Hammers, but good stall in the end there by Movistar Riders.
They've taken it into overtime, but not going to be able to flip the fight in their favor and rid them. So that's a decent completion from Hammers. They looked like they were struggling a little bit in the street stage, but as soon as they managed to crack it through, massive performance all the way through to the end.
So, Morta, you said you disagreed with that comp. In the end, it kind of worked out for Hammers to a degree. And did you say that mainly pinned down to sort of the Lucio changes, or
no,
what was the cause of their sudden snowball into the final point there for Hammers?
I think Neptuno used his ult once incorrectly, so then he couldn't. Then they had the Lucio ult up the next fight, and they basically got it for free.
Okay.
And I like the switch in the end to the Soldier just because they have more damage and attack visor for Hammers. Because before they could only nano the Winston.
Right. Yeah.
And that's. I mean, if a Lucio does a good boop on a Winston, he is like completely
useless.
Yes. So I think that was a good switch, even though they didn't get anything with an attack visor in the end.
Still, he was popping off in the end.
No, but even you don't always need to get a kill. Like if you spread up the whole team and everyone else can just wipe up everyone, where that's enough. Like they were moving the payload for free.
That's one thing that Twitch chat does not understand. Yeah. When they see a Dragon Blade coming out and they say, oh, 0 kills,
yes.
It is still worth it. If ultimates are popped off in the end, you force positioning, it's ultimately probably more of an advantage, even if you've got a single pick essentially. So it is always worth it in the end.
Movistar Riders on the defense here. Again, going for tanky compositions, choosing not to go for full dive just yet.
Snizzle staying on Roadhog. A good choice, it worked out for them.
maybe more of a comfort pick as well. They know that they can perform on that particular composition and these heroes. Be interesting to see what Movistar Riders go for on this first defense as well. Because when you're trying to dive in around Hollywood, if you're trying to approach just directly from the point, you can often need a huge amount of damage from the tank teams, right? Before you're able to actually poke into them.
Okay, Movistar Riders.
Sombra again.
For the Sombra attack from Neptuno, it looks like it is. There is a Mega available to them, so the EMP can be built up pretty quickly. Just around the corner here, but Hammer's holding quite close for now. Neptuno wants to move in.
Denying their health pack first.
This is smart.
Yeah, popping down his translocator. Make sure he gets the deny on this one.
This is really smart.
Has he actually hacked his own health kit though, so they're generating ult? No, he's just dragging them back to the point at the moment though. They don't realize that he's there and Snizzlenose falls.
Incredible gameplay and game sense coming out from Movistar Riders. They've completely counted out Hammers there. Hammers was holding so close into the choke point. xepheR is going to collect a few kills here and there with the help of his team. Tomsy wants to follow up as well, but definitely in the favor of Movistar Riders as it stands. xepheR has high energy right now. Can be putting in a bit of work, but Dante is there with the Discord Orbs to bring a quick and merciful end to his existence.
That's very well played. Sombra just goes in the back, rest of the teammates in main, and I don't even think Hammers knew what was going on until it happened already, so...
Snizzlenose had no time to react. If he hits the hook, perhaps he manages to get the kill, but just missed it and focused down so quickly by Neptuno and Swoosh that he really, I don't think he even realized what was going on until it was too late. And on Movistar Riders, they've got the EMP up for this midsection. I don't think I've ever seen a team run it on Hollywood offense in a tournament, so I don't even know like how this is going to conceptually work. If he's able to lock off health kits, or where he's going to go for first.
I mean, there's a lot of big health kits and just health kits in general here, so it's good work. But
well, ultimate's going to be used. Dragon Blade by Swoosh moves into the back, wants to try and bring down xepheR. He finds it. Bomber Rage as well going to be used here by Colsty, just trying to push them away. They're definitely finding the advantage in the fight so far, but it's going to be the nano boost put onto xepheR. He's going to be trying to zone them out, puts in the damage with the Discord Orb. It's just decimating him in the process. And look at that, the kills flooding in right now for the Movistar Riders. They're pushing in this cart all the way through the streets phase of Hollywood.
And 50% ult up for Neptuno already. Managed to get the hack on this left-hand side health kit where the attackers normally come from. So Finzi being able to get on the high ground with his tactical visor, they've got the position set up perfectly here.
Yes, Hammers only has pretty much an Earth Shatter now to save this second stage.
See if they can get value out of it from xepheR. Neptuno's still hanging around in the back lines. They've got Dante and Finzi's ultimates to work with as well. Dante's getting quite a bit of pressure, but Nesh is not getting as much damage as he would like out. Forces the Transcendence in the end though, and great stick.
That's incredible by Nesh. Picks up the 2K through the Transcendence, bursting them through that support ult, completely negating it. And he forced it out early, and Shaz just follows it up with the Sleep Dart. No follow-up for them though, and actually Movistar Riders turning this around.
I don't know quite how they managed to turn that one around.
I don't know how they managed that either, but somehow the six players, they're gonna hold it.
Just Dante and Swoosh popping off in the backlines perhaps, and xepheR's under so much. There's the Earth Shatter though. Did it catch anybody? Doesn't really look like it. A couple of players perhaps fell down to the floor, but Movistar Riders still definitely in the fight. Neptuno used his ultimate really early on in this one. Back in the previous situation, they've got a pulse bomb. They've got so many of their ultimates really close here, and they're finally turning it around. Decent stall, but there's still so much time on the point for Movistar.
Yeah, this is 100% in their grasp as it stands. Neptuno on this Sombra pick has really just done a number on Hammers because there's so much potential with just a single hack onto one of their targets. You hack xepheR, he's not going to have his shield. You're losing so much damage mitigation. And look at this aggression. There's the pure power of dive. xepheR's going to answer back with the Fire Strike, but Logic is definitely there to follow up onto Shaz. Snizzlenose, that's why I consider him a pretty good Roadhog. Does get the hook in the end onto Colsty, and with the help of Nesh brings down him in the end. But however, the momentum's still there for Movistar Riders. They're building up ultimates. Dante with the Tranquility. Swoosh has his Dragon Blade, but he chooses to feed in the end.
And it doesn't really matter about these deaths as they come around this corner, because Hammers are going to be setting up their defense further back. They've actually switched xepheR over to the Genji as well, and they're now pushing up a little further forwards. They've got a nano boost that they want to use aggressively into them, I think, to be able to fall back to their other ultimates afterwards. But EMP popped in.
He got hooked.
Unbelievable. Logic's with the 2K with the pulse bomb, trying to salvage this for the rest of his team. Moving in. Dragon Blade used by Swoosh as well. A ton of ultimates across the board used by Movistar Riders to try and secure this win. Nesh in the backlines will be falling as well as he just tries to stagger the push for as long as he possibly can. Hammers The only silver lining I can really think of here is that they are going to be able to get onto the point in time. Movistar Riders can't push this cart in without them actually contesting. They are 6 up now, but they have to play this super intelligently. Dante's in the back. He's spamming in the orbs. The damage is there. They've got the full line of sight and a positioning advantage moving into this. Right now, Kosti gets focused down quite quickly, though. And that's going to put a spanner in the works for them as he's forced to back off as it stands. And I think right now, Movistar Riders, if they play this passively, build up the EMP, they're going to be a very solid position.
Definitely. They can get Finzi in a good position as well, distract Snizzlenose out of the fight. He won't be able to peel for any of the rest of his team. Neptuno is round behind, actually putting a load of pressure on xepheR, turns his shield around while he's at 80%. And look at this flank from Finzi. Snizzlenose didn't quite know where to go. He had been drawn over to the left-hand side. EMP to finish this one off as well, hopefully for Movistar, as all of their players are left alive. And they're still going to be able to cap here with a minute left, meaning that Hammers have no opportunity to attack point A again. It's 2 minutes and 47 seconds, and that is going to be, I mean, if they run the Sombra comp again, that's going to be so difficult to defend.
One good Sombra ult and they'll probably get it, so.
Very tactical play coming out from Movistar Riders. This is a level that I hadn't quite anticipated coming out from them. You know, an excellent dive team. Their execution and their teamwork is always brilliant, but looks like they've really cooked up some interesting and well-crafted strategies for this LAN as well.
There's a reason I said that they were one of my top 3 teams coming into this event, because they've been looking really strong. All of the player opinions that I've heard as well rate Movistar Riders all the way up there, just from scrims. Super consistent team across the board. They play the dive really well, and they've got a lot of flexibility in it as well. And really, Hammers, this was their map pick, right? We've got to still consider that. This was their map pick on Hollywood. And now Movistar Riders are looking to be firmly in a driving seat as we're proceeding into this. Hammers not going to get an opportunity to attack. They've got to defend it away from 33.33, recurring, of course, percentage on the point. And Movistar Riders looking to be running that. Attacking Sombra once again. The advantage here, Hammers are going to be clocking onto this pretty early on, I imagine now. They're going to be expecting this to a certain degree.
Yeah, they've got to know that it's happening. That'll set them up for a better position than they were last time, where they were holding forwards at the choke point. But still, if they're going to hold backwards, they're playing more around the health kit area. So, and Neptuno can still just build it up. I mean, they managed to take the last point without him even getting the EMP. So, super difficult for them. Maybe if they just play lights out aggressively into them and try and just take the fight straight to Movistar without them getting the EMP. I'm not sure. It's a difficult situation for Hammers to be in here. See how Movistar approach it.
Ooh, look at this. This is heads-up play. xepheR on the Winston now, making a few changes to their previous composition, and he was just pre-firing the corner so we could bring this Sombra, Mr. Neptuno, out of the invisibility. Quite heads-up plays coming out from Hammers there. And still trying to attempt it. It's going to be the Discord Orb placed onto xepheR. A lot of damage coming out from Hammers, actually, onto Movistar Riders. Forced to back off around this corner. Nesh eats a few orbs, forced to recall pretty early on here. Still the health situation. xepheR falling pretty early on. That's no main tank right now for the Hammers. Dante following up as well with a kill of his own. He's going to get brought down in the end, so Snizzlenose is jumping into the fray, but the... Oh my goodness, Movistar Riders just running all over them. The ticks in their favor, and that'll be that. Hollywood going to Movistar Riders.
Neptuno didn't even build up his EMP, did he?
Oh.
No, so the power of going into Lijiang between Hammers and Movistar.
Indeed we are. It is, of course, the garden section of Lijiang Tower. Team's going to be meeting head on, just going to be fighting off, and it is Swoosh on that Farah roll, so just going to be trying to pull out the projectiles, lay in the damage, but Hammers are running. Snizzlenose on the Diva in response, so it's going to be tough for him to get a lot of damage in, alongside the Zarya as well, so a lot of damage mitigation for them, and it's going to be xepheR finding the first kill. Concussion Blast is going to be pushing Hammers forward a little bit into the team of Movistar Riders, but firmly in their grasp now as well. With that second kill, going to be taking the 6v4 fight, so it will be Hammers taking full control at this point.
Hard actually to get damage out from Swoosh, I think, when he's playing into the Diva and also the barriers from xepheR and xepheR. It's he has to worry about being just either taken out if he goes too close, discarded, and then attacked by the Tracer.
Yeah, like xepheR, if he plays it correctly with his bubbles, it's like he has a lot of charge now already, so he can get one on it easily. And as I say that...
It's the caster's curse. You're one of us now. xepheR going to be falling almost immediately, but the Discord Orb going to be placed onto Kosti. He's going to be doing a decent amount of damage to him, but Logic's just popping off. Meanwhile, taking down 2 members of Hammers. The recontestation is going to be coming out. A lot of stalling by Neptuno. Post-bomb also committed by Logic's now, I believe. Going to be getting that D-mech onto Snizzlenose, and it will be the cap going to the side of Movistar Riders. So Hammers not getting as much time as I thought they might. They could have potentially stalled that out a bit longer, but in the end, yeah, will be going to Movistar.
So now it's going to be really hard to re-enter for Hammers with the tank composition on this stage.
Yeah, they can't really move forwards too quickly because xepheR has to keep his shield up. They've got the 3 tanks still, but Nesh has moved over to the Soldier 76 to try and apply a bit more damage, particularly onto Swoosh, but this time onto Dante as they pick up that kill and come through. They're really missing all of the damage coming out from Swoosh. He's now trying to reply onto them, but a Discord orb onto him, and then Nesh is going to make sure that that Pharah is plucked from the sky. And Hammers so far have got a pretty good answer to the comp from Movistar Riders, particularly when it has the Pharah. But Swoosh has also got an excellent Genji, so at any point they could try and switch it up in that sense.
Still contesting this. The point in favor of Movistar Riders, getting a few percentages on it. They might find just a little bit no, but it will tick over to Hammers in the end. xepheR also going to be bringing down Kolsti with his particle cannon. And right now, we've got support ult on the side of Hammers, so good ult rotations. They've still got Shaz's Tranquility to save them. There's no Ana being ran on the side of Movistar Riders, so they can't negate it with the bio grenade. And ults are coming online for Movistar Riders, however. We are on 6 ultimates, I believe, almost. Kolsti about 10% away.
So
Absolutely.
according to you, they're about to lose.
yeah.
Absolutely massive ults as well. xepheR's got the Graviton. Kristoffer just about to get his Earth Shatter up. Shaz has had to use the Transcendence at the beginning, and there's a Graviton used. It was used from xepheR, catches all of Movistar Riders. They're forced to use the Transcendence in reply. Huge amount of damage coming out from xepheR, but he's knocked off the cliff by Kolsti's Primal Rage. And both of these teams really quite weak, fighting over the point. It looks like Movistar Riders starting to get the better end of it, but that's not going to help as Swoosh is plucked from the sky. And Nesh comes back in to contest. Large amount of damage. Tactical Visor as well available.
He's not going to find his kill.
They flipped the point.
Oh, okay. I tell a lie, he finds 2. All right, Caster's Curse once again, but the 2 on the point feels like dying once again.
He killed everyone, Brad.
He's not going to find anyone. Just prove me wrong. He's listening to me right now. In the booth, I'm sure of it. But yeah, that was interesting. When they popped the Graviton Surge up onto the post, they were just lit up around that like a Christmas tree. It was, it was quite funny to watch, but...
That was 5 versus 6 ults, I think, that fight.
Huge amount invested from both teams, but Hammers come out on top, and now they're at 95%. They're trying to make their way onto the point.
I think
they have
Need to jump on.
Do they have anybody? Yeah, they do. They finally make their way in. Swoosh in through the window, has made the switch over to Genji as well. And now this is a fight they absolutely have to win.
Ooh, Shaz with the pre-fire. That is nutty. Brings down Logix. And that was with a post bomb. It's going to be the sound barrier used by Hammers. The overtime ticking down, and Movistar Riders have nobody to contest. So the first round will be going towards them.
Do you feel like the choice of a Pharah-centric composition at the beginning was what gave them kind of a bank that they weren't able to get back onto in that Morte?
So he's stuck on the Pharah for quite a while. Normally because we scrim them a lot, and we sometimes run Pharah here, and normally teams run Pharah in the start just to get control, and if they lose control, then they swap to the Genji, which he did in the end. But
it was
I just
very
think
late.
It was a bit weird when they had first control that they let Hammers come all the way over the bridge. Like, I'm a very aggressive Lucius, for example. I would just be jumping in there and trying to boop the Reinhardt off the map, and
okay.
I don't know.
What is Nesh attempting to do here? Because in my mind, when you're running, it's actually quite ineffective to run a McCree against the dive comp. But still, Hammers feel like they've got enough damage mitigation, I guess, with the Rhine Shield and even xepheR on the Zarya and Stunson on the Diva to try and protect him.
They can keep him fairly well protected here, yeah, if they peel for him, and he's got the flashbang to try and neutralize quite a number of their divers. They need to keep him alive, though, because he is a very sticky, easy to pick target,
right?
Without his own mobility.
That's the power of the Discord Orb on top of it. Shaz just communicating quite well with Nesh, misses the flashbang combo. He is still safe in the clutches of his team. Logic's trying to contest him a little bit. Discord Orb going to be popped onto him. Recalls away, but they know exactly where he is. Now Neptuno wants to join into the fight. Just moving in, just across his stream. Nesh just practicing the, shooting range a little bit.
They're finding it hard to pick apart Hammers, I think. They haven't found a single player to isolate, and Movistar Riders have had to give up position because they didn't find a good opportunity to engage.
Interesting.
The thing is, they lost their Winston early as well, and you can't really dive anymore without your Winston, I think.
Kristoffer getting pressured quite a bit. Sound barrier now going to be used defensively by Tomzy. That's a fast sound barrier, I must say. Still damage being put in by Nesh, but he's already fallen down to quite low HP. Bubble committed onto him just to keep him nice and safe once again. And Movistar Riders are starting to build up a bit of an ult economy. So you got Logix, commits the post bomb, finds the kill onto Nesh, and that's the opening they were looking for. Tranquility's going to be committed by both these teams. Swoosh has the Dragon Blade, opts to use it, moves into the back, the Discord Orb. He's slashing and dashing. My goodness, man. What are you made of, Swoosh? It's absolutely filthy. And that'll be, I believe, the 4th kill for him coming into that. Movistar Riders going to be flipping the point over. A significant usage of ults in the end, but at least they're now in a position to hold.
I think the McCree pick was actually maybe to counter the idea that Movistar might be running a Sombra again. And then you have like McCree is okay against Tracer, and McCree is actually very good against Sombra.
Oh,
So
Kolsti
maybe that's
just
what-
got melted there as well. He was trying to hide up top on the mirror spot just above there and got destroyed. Just a pre-fire, I think, coming out from Shaz, melted him from below.
Nesh collects a headshot kill onto Finzi. That's beautiful to set things up for the side of Hammers right now, and still just playing the point wonderfully. You do have Nesh's Deadeye available, but it's not really too good other than just zoning out the point. Logic ends up committing his own little pulse bomb. Now we're going to see Finzi just jogging back to the point for a little bit before we switch back over to Kolsti with the Primal Rage. Going to be popping into them now, trying to knock them off the point. Nesh in a bit of trouble, rolls away, but he is finally going to be sent into the tumbling depths of Lijiang there. Tomsy now in a bit of trouble as well, with Neptuno with the boop, and Movistar Riders in solid control of this point.
Good play from them, but a lot of ults up for Hammers here. They're going to be able to take control. It's still fairly even as well. They're still at 43%. Movistar starting to take it up to about 60. xepheR with this Graviton is going to be pretty huge for them, or if they can get a good Earth Shatter off, a little more difficult. But with both of those large CC ults, they should be able to find a couple of picks that they can use to turn the fight.
So hard to find a high-value Graviton Surge though when you're running into dive, because the positioning is so spread, and Tomsy ends up falling. Immediately he does end up slamming it into the wall, picks up, I believe, one player. Kolsti was the only man to get trapped in that. Tranquility is going to be used as well by both these teams. Slightly better one coming out from Dante. Swoosh now using the Dragon Blade. He gets caught. That's a massive Earth Shatter from xepheR. Sets it up for his team. The contestant going their way 100% of the time. Logix realizes this point is lost. He needs to regroup with the rest of his team. And still, Movistar Riders are in a decent position to recontest this. You know, there's still a long way off Hammers actually getting the cap to a high number, at least in the percentage-wise. Movistar Riders got about 81%, so still a bit of pressure on Hammers, but they do have that support ult to work with.
Finzi swapped to Zarya from Soldier, which is quite interesting.
I think they know that they're at a fairly large ultimate disadvantage in terms of the support ults, and xepheR has potential to raise one of his own. They only need a single recap here, but it is quite late in the fight. Maybe they just want to bubble individual targets in to try and pick them apart. But xepheR's going to be the Zarya to start things out. Kolsti's had been focused so hard throughout this game. Nesh switching over to the Soldier 76, doing a huge amount of damage as well. And this first attempt, at the very least, has been smacked back. And Movistar Riders will be hard-pressed to get back on the point now. 92.3%. Is there even anybody there?
What do they even have to do it? They can try and initiate. They've got no plays, no ultimates to use, really, across the board. Overtime does tick over, so someone has found their way onto the point. Kolsti getting pressured down quite heavily, but he does bring down Shaz. Before just jumping onto the point. Hammers now, their positioning is thoroughly into the courtyard, and Movistar Riders do manage to flip it over. Logix has an ultimate to use. This Pulse Bomb, it needs to be a big one. Point's going to be held down. It's going to be the speed boost. Pulse Bomb used, doesn't find the kill. Movistar's still going to be trying to defend it down to the bitter end here. 95%. xepheR still just putting in the damage. The beat has been dropped by Movistar, so they've got the HP to work with it. Swoosh moves in. He's found two. Tranquility in the last moments for Shaz to try and stagger it out, but it's too little, too late once again. And the overtime will be going in favor of Movistar Riders, claiming a round on the board for Lijiang Tower.
That was looking close between those two teams. That really could have gone either way, but they made it work at the end. What do you think the thought process was, and how did it work out with the Zarya from Finzi at the end there?
So I think the thought process was just to bubble the Winston and so he could jump in easier on the Zenyatta in the back line, maybe pop an ult for free. But I also really like the push from Hammers at the end, actually, out of the point. But I think there was already someone waiting. I think it was a Lucio on the point, actually, from Movistar. So I don't think they checked that, and then the Lucio just kept the points for free, and then they had to rush back. Like, they got the Zarya pick for free, I think, so I think their push out of the point was good, but it just was a bit unlucky.
Is the stage control center, which tends to be the one that teams run more Reinhardt on if they like to favor those compositions. Triple tank coming out from Hammers. Snizzlenose on the Diva rather than the Roadhog, playing into triple DPS. Always a bit of a tricky one, but they're playing it super aggressively, actually. Normally, the tank teams try and take the high ground and then end up giving up a bit of position. So much damage coming out from Movistar, and they end up encircling them, but they're playing this one so aggro, right into the middle. But xepheR's going to find it difficult, I think, to know which way to place his shield.
I do like this, though, because normally when teams play this traditional triple tank, they just sit in a server room, let all the positionings go to the dive teams. Movistar Riders now moving into the back lines. They found one, they found two. Logix on an absolute mad one. He collects the third. Wonderful, wonderful stuff from this Tracer player, and look at that. Styling on them. Neptuno will steal the kills, or Dante finding Snizzlenose, so beautiful, beautiful work by Movistar Riders, just dismantling Hammers, even if they did get the point in the first place.
When you're playing this with eUnited, Morte, if you're playing triple DPS into it, what's your thought process on the first fight, if you're facing a different composition like Hammers?
Like you saw, Movistar did it as well now. They just put the Tracer and the Genji in the back, so they're attacking the tanks from all angles, and then it's like a tank is only...
Wow. My goodness, that is wonderful stuff coming out from Logix. Somehow, just connecting these pulse bombs. I mean, it's not exactly a hard target to miss a giant German man in armor just walking towards you slowly, but still, it's going to be setting Movistar up for wondrous stuff coming into this right now. Fischer's still trying to even it out. He's putting in a bit of damage here and there, but he will eventually fall. And I got to give it to Logix right now. He's playing out of his mind.
He's an excellent Tracer. He's really fantastic. We've got a huge array of incredibly talented Tracer players here at TakeOver 2. You know, Valitage is pretty sick as well, as is Soon, potentially one of the world's best Tracers. But I think Logix, given his performance online so far in Europe, if he manages to replicate that here, will be in the same kind of conversation as well.
You see a Dragon Blade by Swoosh. Soundbar is going to be used quite defensively here by Hammers to try and recontest the point. Tomzy does manage to get the boop off onto Finzi. That's going to commit now to Dragon Blade alongside the sound barrier. He forces out the ultimate. That's good. Now he's going to be trying to move onto the back lines, puts in decent damage, but just getting that tranquility out might be good enough to turn the fight around for Movistar Riders. We still see Logix putting in work. Shaz in a bit of trouble. Self-destruct being sent flying as well by Hammers, just trying to clear the point out as best they possibly can. And Hammers do get the recap, so not all is lost for them. Logix has to play a bit passive here, just eating a bit of damage. And still, there's the Graviton Surge committed onto the point. Tranquility now going to be used by Danzy, but it doesn't matter. Nesh with the post bomb is enough to burst through it. Smashing through them like butter.
But Finzi's managed to find this tactical visor in the background. They're still in this fight, so close to actually flipping it over and putting out a huge amount of raw damage. Nesh into the back, though, manages to pick up Dante. And Hammers looking to stabilize here. Movistar, so dangerous though, have picked up both of the tanks.
Ridiculous. Even after losing those initial two players, Nesh on the Tracer though, just trying his hardest to work them off the points. He's putting in tons of damage onto Neptuno as well, just bringing him super low. Sends out the post bomb flying. Goes for the Kobe attempt, didn't quite work out for him, and Movistars will recap the point.
That was so back and forth there, Morty.
Yeah. So this dive just keeps trickling in, so it's actually, for tanks, it's pretty hard to clear the point. So, yeah.
Just not
but
enough.
the Hammers did actually get quite, I think, like 40% on the point, so I think it was still a good push from their end.
Okay. Need to be able to recap here, though. Shaz close to his ultimate.
He is indeed, but if he gets focused down like this, it's going to be in a troubling situation into the backlines. Logix descends the beat down to him, brings him down. Tomzy follows suit as well. Wonderful stuff in the pulse bomb for good measure. Going to be sent into the depths of the corner, I should say, of Lijiang Tower. Meanwhile, Dragon Blade used by Swoosh. Overtime going to be ticking down. Hammers only have 2 players remaining, and they've just respawned, so it's going to be a quick and easy round there for Movistar Riders.
Well played by them. It's been back and forth the whole way through Lijiang, though.
Yes,
Each individual control stage has been hotly contested between these two teams. Depending on where we go next, Hammers would probably prefer if they went back over to the Garden stage as well, but I think that Movistar are probably not going to run the same composition if we do end up there. We're on Night Market though anyway, so this again was still super close. But yeah, we saw Nesh running the McCree beforehand. It's going to be back on it now, it seems.
It's working out for them 100% of the way, and Movistar Riders, of course, in that last round at least made the last minute switch on Finzi onto the Zarya to try and essentially get a foothold onto the point and cap it up, and it worked out for them in the end. But Hammers were incredibly close to capping up this section, at least in the previous round, so let's see if they can make it a repeat, as they're going to be rolling out here, using Christopher's shield as a decent amount of coverage. Nesh just searching for the targets. Discord Orb was placed on Swoosh, can't quite find it. Kosti in the back as well. Decent damage being placed onto him, but it can't quite get the angle for the Discord Orb. And this is essentially a repeat of what happened last round. Just Hammers gave it the positioning, but this time, changing pace. Logix collects the kill onto Christopher. No more main tank means a bit of a sticky situation, and Finzi follows it up with a second kill. Now a 6v4 fight for them. Flashbang committed by Nesh. Tries to bring down Swoosh, but he just beats him down, and with the Swiss strike, Shaz is no more.
Last time, Movistar Riders lost Kolsti very early on in that first engagement. This time, Christopher falls, so a bit of a difference in terms of who they were prioritizing, perhaps, or maybe safer positioning coming out from Kolsti, just knowing that they were going to run this composition. And Movistar begin well with 10% taking up before any of the ultimates have been exchanged.
Here we go. Still trying to push their way out of this with this triple tank comp.
Cole Steve trying to be sneaky there, but he's a bit too fat.
Swoosh has built up a Dragon Blade. This is important now. I mean, it's one of the only ultimates on board other than Fincy, and he looks like he wants to initiate in with it, moves into the back lines, goes for the slashes. Doesn't quite find the kill. He puts in a decent amount of damage, and that sets him up for the kill onto Shaz. Logic's moving into the back as well. Does bring down Nesh. That's a lack of DPS right now for the Hammers squad. Now they're going to be dropping a beat for Hammers. They want to try and contest this, even though they've got the player disadvantage as it stands, and it is working out in their favor. Fincy opts to use the tactical visor, but he didn't actually anticipate the D.Va just getting right up into his face with the defense matrix. Still, Logix is causing all sorts of mayhem into the back. He's putting in tons of damage for his team to follow up on. Tomsy might be the next one to die. Indeed, he is. Logix somehow just finding these picks in the midst of all this chaos. And still, Hammers in control of the point. They do get a recap, but the power of Movistar's comp right now is that they're running dive. They can just initiate whenever, and as you can see right here,
Finzy on the Soldier 76, popping his tactical visor from the front of the point, and Logic's from behind. And Snizzlenose didn't really know which way to turn to be able to mitigate the damage enough. Couldn't help fyeR. fyeR's died again at 97%. And these ults just able to be used kind of as and when for Movistar Riders, other than their supports, who are keeping hold of them admirably. And Hammers have now got a difficult job of re-engaging here. They need to get value out of one of their two big CC ultimates.
absolutely, it's...
Feels like Logix has a lot of free space in the backline all the time, so he's actually having a very good game right now.
fyeR has the Graviton, doesn't need to worry about it getting ate by the D.Va at all. Can just send that one flying, see if he can pick up these players. He's actually managed to collect it onto 2. Neptune are going to be falling, Colsty following up as well, so 2 quick picks for the Hammers squad, already getting a lot of cap time onto the point. Going to get delayed a little bit by Swoosh into the tail end of it, but they do get the recap. 80% on the board for Movistar, so they're not going to be too displeased with it. But
that was a bit of a weird one, though. I'm not really sure why Shaz used his ultimate there when Dante hadn't committed to it. They used the sound barrier, I guess, so they traded support ults in the end, but it looked from the outside like Shaz didn't really need to commit that one. I mean, in the heat of the moment, perhaps he felt he did, but a bit of a strange situation for them. The investment was slightly more than they would have wanted, I think. Going to be difficult for them to keep in control of this with Swoosh and Finzy's ults coming up and no support to answer it.
Swoosh wants this. He wants the kills. He can feel it in his bones. He's moving in, so strike into the air, into the back lines. The dive is there. They're popping off. They're putting in the damage. Logix is in there, right into the nitty-gritty.
Bye-bye,
He has
Christopher.
found 2 kills. Christopher, I believe, must have charged off the edge of the map there. And it will be going to Movistar Riders. The cap going their way. It's going to get tailed, or at least contested to a degree in the end by fyeR, but it will be 80% and counting for Movistar's. Hammers have ultimates to use to come in here with, so they got a self-destruct. Christopher with the Earth Shatter, but
They've
how are
actually
they
just
gonna work
changed
this?
they've just changed their composition as well. They've put Shaz over on the Ana and
Right.
fyeR on the Winston, so they want to be able to engage a little faster as well. Did they
Wow.
catch anybody with that
No, it's the
ultimate as
bubble.
well?
The bubble ended up stopping it. It's ridiculous. The self-destruct going to be sent in, trying to buy a bit of time here for Hammers. Now we're going to see Fincy using that tactical visor. Not finding the kills though, as Sizzlenose does have his defense matrix firmly placed. And right now, Neptuno actually collects a cheeky little kill onto Shaz, dropping him off the map. Christopher trying to answer back a little bit there with the fire strike. Sizzlenose also picking up a kill. The overtime ticking over. They're finding the kills. As a result, Swoosh is just trying to tango with fyeR in the end. Finding another kill with the switch strike, using the Dragon Blade, trying to salvage this for his team. Nesh brings him down with the Helix Rockets, however, still currently doable right now for Hammers. They're trying to stall this out. Tomsy has the beat to drop down. He's going to be using it. Does connect onto Snizzle to try and get it into the tail end of the fight. The post bomb by Logic's going to be sent out flying. Finzy with the Helix Rockets is going to bring them down, and the overtime just ticking down far too fast for them to contest, and it will be their Movistar Riders winning out lead.